Elvira Vampira here to tell you the story of Theodosia Manfri. She was born in 1915 in a boring, mundane town called Sunnydale. Her life started out typical, but she grew up to be an eccentric teenager. Of course, in those days, everyone was proper and followed the mold set by society. But Theodosia Manfri did not. She had pale skin and big, long black hair. She had tattoos, wore long black dresses, and liked to wear lots of makeup. Whenever she was out and about, just minding her business, the people of Sunnydale would just look at her in disgust. She could hear the whispers and see the scowling faces. Little children would go running to their mothers as if she was a monster. In her early 20s, she decided she wanted to get out of Sunnydale and explore the world. The thing is, she didn't tell anybody. Now, Theodosia Manfri didn't have an agenda. She just packed a little bag and waited for a dark and foggy night where she just vanished. Of course, when the word spread of Theodosia Manfri's disappearance, the people of Sunnydale came up with stories of what had happened to her. Some said she wandered into the woods and was eaten by wolves. Others said she was a witch that was transported to another realm. Nobody knew, and the stories just grew wilder and wilder. It's not exactly clear what happened to Theodosia Manfri, but it's said that on the third night of the winter solstice, you can still see her shadow wandering the town. Now, Sunnydale hasn't changed much since 1915, and the people there still dare say her name in fear that she will return from her witchy realm.
Elvira Vampira tells a story about Theodosia Manfred. She was a girl that was born in a town called Sunnydale or Sunnyvale. And she was tall, thin, pale, long hair, and had tattoos. And you have to remember, this was during a time where you had to be very proper. And so everybody would look at her, and little kids would run away from her because they would be scared. They thought she was like a monster. They would scowl at her and say horrible things about her. And one day Theodosia packed her bags and decided to leave. And then the people of the town started making all these assumptions and stories and saying that she walked into the forest and was eaten by wolves. And they said that she went into another realm. And then, what happened after that? On the third day of the winter solstice, you can still see Theodosia's shadow in the town of Sunnyvale.
This is the story of Theodosia Manfred, told by Elvira Vampira. It is said that Theodosia was a beautiful woman, but she had tattoos. And in the time when Theodosia lived, that was not okay. It was, women had to be proper. She lived in a town of Sunnyvale, where the town people were afraid of her. They would scowl at her, call her names, treat her horribly. The kids were afraid of her, would run away from her, would call her a monster, and it was just horrible. And it came to a point where the town folk ran her out of town. And there's different legends that's told within the town of Sunnydale, that Theodosia ran into the woods and was eaten by wolves, or that she portaled into a different realm. It's not known what exactly happened to her, but they do say that on the summer solstice, you can still see her shadow.
This is the story of Theodosia Malfield, as told by Elvira Vampira Darks. Theodosia lived in Sunnydale, a nice town, but she had tattoos, which was very bad for her time, when tattoos were frowned upon. She was called a freak. The children laughed at her and ran from her, calling her names, and she was run out of town. There are many stories circulating the whereabouts of what happened to her as she faded into legend. Some say she was eaten by wolves. Others say she portaled into other realms, possibly the moral realm. But one legend prevails above all others, that on the winter solstice, in the light of the moon, if you look closely, you can still see her shadow, admiring her tattoos.
There was a girl who lived in Sunnydale. She had tattoos. She frightened the kids. She was a freak. Nobody knows what happened to her. The end.
There was a girl from Sunnydale who had tattoos and was a freak and would scare everyone. The end.
There was a girl from Sunnyvale who was a freak and had tattoos and scared everyone. The end.
There was a girl in Sunnydale and she was a freak. She had a lot of tattoos and it scared everybody.
There was a girl in Sunnyvale who was a freak, had a lot of tattoos, and scared everyone.
There was this girl from Sunnyvale with lots of tattoos, and she was a freak. And she scared everybody.
A bunch of tattoos, and she was a freak, and she scared everyone.